A man is not truly delayed if he walks his own path. Marcus Aurelius, you think someone is always ahead of you, that no matter how hard you try, no matter how fast you move, no matter how much effort you put in, someone always gets there sooner. Someone gets the job you wanted. Someone gets the relationship you dreamed of. Someone builds the body you're trying to build. Someone earns the money you're chasing. Someone creates the life you're still planning. And with each one that isn't yours, you feel smaller, slower, weaker, like the world is running and you're trying to sprint through water. You begin to believe that something is wrong with you, that others are blessed while you are cursed, that life has handed you worse cards, that you don't have the same opportunities, the same discipline, the same talent, the same luck. You believe you are behind. But here is the truth you avoid. You are not behind, you are distracted. You compare your timeline to someone else's. You compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. You compare your internal struggle to their external image. You compare your uncertainty to their confidence. You compare your failures to their highlights. You compare your reality to their presentation. And of course you lose, because comparison is designed to make you lose. You cannot win in a race that isn't yours. Someone will always be ahead in something. Someone will always start earlier. Someone will always have more support. Someone will always have more experience. Someone will always have different circumstances. Someone will always move differently, learn differently, grow differently. But the reason you feel constantly overtaken is not because others are faster. It's because you're measuring the wrong things. The Stoics warned that comparison is poison to the mind. They said that no man is ahead or behind, only different in journey, different in fate, different in struggle, different in duty. But you don't look at your duty. You look sideways. You measure your worth against people who aren't even running the same race as you. And then you call yourself slow. But let's dig deeper, because the reasons you feel behind go far beyond comparison. Reason 1, you focus on speed, not consistency. You start strong, then burn out. You chase motivation, not discipline. You wait to feel ready instead of acting ready. Meanwhile, the people you envy simply show up every day, even when tired, even when bored, even when uninspired. They don't sprint, they persist. And persistence will always outrun intensity. Consistency beats talent. Consistency beats excitement. Consistency beats potential. Consistency beats speed. Most of the people who overtake you are not better, they are steadier. Reason 2, you spend more time thinking than doing. You analyze, doubt, hesitate, overthink, plan, predict, rethink, replan, while others quietly start. You rehearse every scenario in your head, while they take the first step. You try to eliminate all risk before acting, while they act and learn as they go. You wait for the perfect moment, while they build momentum. And momentum will always outrun perfection. Reason 3, you live in avoidance. You avoid discomfort. You avoid fear. You avoid uncertainty. You avoid being seen failing. You avoid being judged. You avoid challenging yourself. The people who pass you aren't fearless. They simply move despite fear. Every time you avoid something hard, you give someone else the advantage. Every avoided challenge becomes someone else's opportunity. Reason 4, you underestimate how long things take. You think progress should be fast. You think results should be visible. You think success should be linear. But real growth is slow, uneven, invisible until suddenly it's not. Others look ahead because you compare your early grind to their late harvest. Reason 5, you get distracted by the noise. You scroll instead of build. You compare instead of act. You consume instead of create. You react instead of plan. You chase trends instead of mastery. Your attention is scattered, and scattered attention cannot produce focused results. The people ahead of you are not always better, they are simply more focused. Reason 6. You don't finish what you start. You quit when things get hard. You quit when progress slows. You quit when results aren't immediate. You quit when doubt appears. Meanwhile, others finish, not because it's easy, but because they refuse to start over forever. Reason 7. You expect emotion to drive action. You wait to feel motivated, confident, inspired in the mood. Others act independent of emotion. They don't rely on mood, they rely on discipline. They don't rely on feeling ready, they rely on doing what must be done. Emotion-driven people fall behind because emotion is inconsistent. Discipline-driven people move forward because discipline is stable. Reason 8. You protect your ego more than your destiny. You fear looking foolish. They trade ego for progress. Reason 9. You don't define what ahead means for you. You chase someone else's version of success. You copy goals that don't belong to you. You run toward destinations that don't align with your values. You call yourself behind in a race you didn't even choose. Reason 10. You ignore your strengths. You compare your weaknesses to someone else's strengths. You overlook your gifts because they don't look like theirs. You forget that each person's advantage is different, and your strengths can take you far if you develop them instead of envying others. Reason 11. You waste energy on self-doubt. While others use their time to act, you use yours to question whether you should act. Doubt drains more energy than effort. A single hour of overthinking can steal days of progress. Reason 12. You don't give yourself permission to be a beginner. You want to start strong. You want to be good instantly. You want to avoid looking inexperienced. But mastery requires humility at the beginning. Others progress because they allow themselves to be bad before they become good. Reason 13. You forget how far you've already come. You don't measure your progress, you measure your distance from someone else. You don't see your improvements, you see your flaws. You don't acknowledge your growth, you focus on your lack. And so you believe you are behind even when you are evolving. Reason 14. You are impatient. You expect transformation in months instead of years. You expect expertise without repetition. You expect consistency without training. Those ahead of you simply stayed the course longer. Reason 15. You don't understand timing. Life gives different people different seasons. Some rise early. Some rise late. Some rise after setbacks. Some rise suddenly after years of silence. Someone being ahead now says nothing about where you will be in 5 years. A slow start does not mean a slow life. A late bloom is still a bloom. The Stoics taught calm acceptance of your pace. Not passivity, acceptance. Acceptance that your path is yours alone. Acceptance that rushing leads to ruin. Acceptance that others are not benchmarks. They are distractions from your own work. And here is the truth at the core of all your frustration. You are not actually angry that others are ahead. You are angry because you know you could be further along if you stopped getting in your own way. You know your potential. You know your ability. You know your ambition. You know your strength. You know your dreams. And you know, painfully, that your habits don't match them. You know you could be extraordinary if you were consistent. You know you could grow fast if you stopped hesitating. You know you could become who you want if you acted daily instead of occasionally. Your anger isn't envy, it's self-recognition. You see who you could be. And you see the gap between that version and your reality. And the people ahead of you? They don't intimidate you because they're special. They intimidate you because they reflect what you haven't committed to yet. Someone else's progress often exposes your excuses. Someone else's discipline exposes your inconsistency. Someone else's courage exposes your fear. Someone else's results expose your distractions. Someone else's focus exposes your avoidance. And instead of learning from it, you label yourself behind. But you're not behind, you're unaligned. You're not slow, you're inconsistent. You're not lacking, you're unfocused. You're not defeated, you're uncommitted. And the moment you align, focus, persist, and commit, the moment you stop watching others and start building yourself, the race disappears. Because there is no race. There is only your path, your pace, your growth, your fate. And here is the final truth: no one can overtake you in a life that belongs only to you. They can walk faster on their road. They cannot walk faster on yours. Your timeline is not late. Your journey is not wrong. Your pace is not a problem. The only thing holding you back is the belief that you should be somewhere other than where you are, instead of building where you stand. You feel behind because you look sideways. You progress the moment you look forward.